Okay guys, and we're back at it. So starting with the head finally. First of all, you guys will see that this looks very different from the previous time when we worked on it. We discovered that the head was actually warped, so we had that nicely machined down properly. That's pretty much the surface that you want to be looking for. So what we're going to be doing with the head is we're going to be doing our valves, making sure our valve seat properly, and we're going to probably do our valve stem seals. That will probably be a separate video, so we're just going to focus on the valve grinding for now. There are some things I want to cover with that. And obviously we'd have our valve stem seal, so you'd have a different design with this one here compared to the old one. You can see the old one there, hard, solid, and this one is nice and squishy and soft. They've got very different ways that they go on, so these are a little bit more tricky to install, so that'll probably be a video on its own. Then our valves. So our valves already been removed by the engineering shop. I asked them not to put them back for us so we can do some demonstrations. So inside there you would have your valve guide. You would have a tolerance in which you want to put your valve in and make sure it doesn't float. So with that, your valve is pretty much staying in the place where it needs to be. It's not floating around. It's not dropping all over the place. So that's fine for our application. In terms of valve design, we're not going to worry too much about the actual angle that the valve is sitting in the head. So the head to the valve angle, we're not going to adjust that. That is pretty much in by factory design. If you're into auto engineering, you probably will be working more with that, but that's above our spec of application. That's like the guys that do rally and have to make their own stuff. We're going to be working on our valve seat, which is this shiny little area there, and then there's going to be our valve face. So normally if you were to do your valves, you want to do like engineering level of precision, you would machine in your seat with your valve. And the seat, if you were to look at it from the side, let's have a look. Let's use something here as an example. Let's use this cup as an example. Say that is now your valve seat. You would machine it in at a 60-degree angle and then a shallow angle, and then once you have your 60-degree and your shallow degree, you would machine down that top piece to get it with the face that you want. And normally it's either 60 degrees, 45, or 30. We seem to be running the 45-degree angle valve seat here, which I think will work on that, and I'll show you guys how we do that. So the machinist will probably machine this for you. You wouldn't have to worry about the valve angles and seats, but they would machine it to the valves that you're already there. But it does have an effect. If you have a shallower seat, it would seal better, but of less airflow. If you have a steeper valve angle, you'd have more airflow, but you probably would run into some seating problems and things. Yeah, so we're just going to get on with that. So we've already removed our valve stem seal on the other side. We have our valve here. Normally I would have two grits, which is a fine and a coarse, and we would do the coarse first followed by the fine. We don't have that today, so we're going to use this valve grind lapping paste. Obviously not sponsored by anyone, but yeah, this is the stuff that they have. I don't know, I've never used these before, so we'll see how that goes. One thing to keep in mind is you want to work very clean. We should use some gloves on this because the stuff is abrasive. Let's get those gloves on first. Actually, we need to follow our safety protocols. Okay, so we got our gloves on. We have already removed our spring, so we would have a valve compressor that would press that in. We would remove our half moons, take this and the valve out, and the valve would flow freely. We've also taken out the stem seal to make it easier to move. So things to watch out for when you're doing this: you don't want to get any abrasive on there because that'll eat up your valve guide. Also, you would want to number them. So engineers, they did punch it. I hate when they do that, but they're little punch marks which they normally do. So like 1, 2, 3. So for example, this here, that's number 7. So you've got 4 with the dots and a 5, and the 2 is a 7. So that one would go there. And you want to keep in mind which valve goes where. It's not just one size fits all when you do this. So just to get into that, keeping in mind number of valves, don't get paste on the stem seal, and then there is another way where you can use a bit of fuel pipe to do that, but I don't think we're going to be doing that. And I'm just going to, I've never done it this way, so bear with me. valve lapping paste on that. Make sure I don't drip that anywhere. It's massively coarse. Paste this. I don't know if I trust this. Oh, we're gonna see. The whole point of this is learning is for the community. So it's an auto adjusting grit. I don't know if I believe that, but that's what they advertise it to be. Gonna get that on there. So you want to have it all the way around, and then put that in there, and you would have one of these little tools. I just bought a cheap one at the shop. We have so many of them, and they all basically vary depending on what your application is. And then you would basically put that on. So you just have a little suction cup there, and you put that on there, and that would give you your rotation. Notice I'm not trying to start a fire. I'm not like, no, long, smooth, straight strokes. I feel this is too coarse. I'm going to have to get a fine grit. I'm not happy with this grit. Now the valves do float easy. Because I don't want to like grind it into oblivion. So we'll take that off and just have a look at our valve. Obviously on the side. When you're working on a head, make sure you've got like a cardboard or something there to take everything. So you don't want to damage the surface. It will affect your seating. It will affect your performance. So be extra careful when you do all that. Let's get the valve out there. And let's have a look. Okay, so grab our rag. We wipe off our paste. Make sure our stem stays clean. And now comes the part where we see, okay, does it seat or does it not? So we clean that out, and now you've got a nice abrasive side there. See if I can zoom in a bit more. See how it's like almost have like a little line on the outside, like a little dark in the center and then a bright on the outside. That tells me this is not seating properly. You want to have a smooth, uniform color. I'm putting this down to the grit. The grit is just way too harsh for what we're doing here. I need a finer grit, so we'll see what I can do about that. But essentially you have a uniform color. So what you're looking for here is dark spots. Anything that would look dark or like little pits in there. I wonder if I can get this thing to focus better. See if I full up the frame. So yeah, so you'd want to look at like little pits like that, and I think, but we've all in all we've got a relatively uniform band around there. One thing to watch out about your valve surface, now you'll see if you look closely, you'll have like a little focus to have like a little dark band on the outside, and then have like a bright band. So you initially want to get this band to be about 2 millimeters in width, and then have like a little step on the bottom up there and a little top down there. So this one is actually, if you look at the side of it, the angle of the valve starts right there, and it basically starts right at that edge. So that's actually incorrect. This is about a 3 mil thickness on this valve, and you want to have about 1.2. So I talked earlier about your valve angles, or the seats of the valve angles. So that would basically focus. That'll be requiring you to machine the inside of your valve seat a little bigger, so you get that proper thin band there. So you want to have a little, see, like a little dark band and like a gray one, and then like a little bit in on there. So you want to have like that dark band on both sides with a 2 mil thickness. So this is a 45-degree angle. Let's just have a look there. If I have something I could show you guys the angle on there. So you can see they've got like a 30-degree to a 45 on there. So that 30-degree angle is something I can point with, so I can show you guys what's going on here. Let's do that. Because this is kind of like, because if the band is too thick, your valve will leak. It won't seal properly, won't hold the pressure. See if I can do this thing in even more. Okay, so here at the edge, focus please. Thank you. So here at the edge you go to dark band, and then here is our area that we have now worked are in, and then that's your inner seat that goes on there. So this inner seat should stop at that edge and should have another band like that on this side and have a thin band over there. So if you cover the whole surface, your forces base, or your force over area is less because you've got a bigger surface area, so the force being applied gets reduced, so you don't seat as well. Wow, this focus is just crazy. So you want to have like a little bit of band there and a little bit of band there, so this one actually needed to be remachined. But at this stage, I need to get the car done. Unfortunately, I do not have the time to be able to do that and redo it and check it again, and yeah, for various reasons. So let's have a look at our seat. Now I probably will have to take the camera and go by hand here, because this is the, oh, that's just from the cooling jacket. So this is the part here where you want to see. Now normally your machine shop, if they're worth their salt, they would do this themselves. I'm just going to bring the camera closer, so just bear with me with the shaky footage. Now we can really see how that coarse grit is affecting our surface finish. So like I was saying, your machine shop would normally do this for you. They would machine it in properly, and you see this one goes right up to that edge. But what we're looking for is basically like dark spots. So you see like here is like a little dark area there. So we want to grind this down a little bit more to get that dark side out. There we can, if this thing will focus, that little dark side there is what we want to get down. See, it's almost like reflective, so you want to get that to be smooth. So that area there will probably cause a leak. So you want to redo this surface area to do that. So you use your coarse grit until all of those dark spots are gone. You can clearly see that little indentation there. That's what you want to look out for, and you want to carry on then to do that to get it nice and smooth. Here's a nice little valve actually on the other one. This is, which valve is this? This is a 1. So let's have a look at this valve here. I'm just going to put this down like that so you can see. So this is off. So if the damn thing will focus, can I just lock the focus there? Yeah, there we go. So here you can see a very good indication where the machine shop machined it down. So you have your machining surface there. Here's your another edge there. Now notice again, you don't have that band. So this surface here is actually a bit too big. Let's see if I can get another thing. So you can have manual tool. Oh, there's a small band there. So you do get tools which allow you to like machine down the inner sides, but you have like a 30-degree angle here. That's a 45, and you'll probably have a 60 on the other end. So it's a shallow to a steep to a steeper incline there, and that'll basically affect your thing. Now granted, it will work if you're pushing stronger springs. You probably want to get a better seal on that, but then again, your combustion pressure is coming from the bottom upward, so your forces from the combustion chamber is in this direction, so it'll automatically push the valve back in. You want to have that small surface. Think about if someone were to step on your foot with a heel versus with a boot. A heel's going to hurt a lot more because you have a lot more force concentrated in a smaller area. That's a little bit of an old trick that they don't really tell you these days anymore. I don't know if they really cover this in classes anymore. Let's get this thing back on the stand. Okay, we're going to resume on that one now. Yeah, so I don't know if they really teach that in classes anymore these days. Everything just gets done by the machinist, and then people just send it and just hope for the best. I have, over all the years, always done my own valves. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Where did I put? Oh, here it is. So this is the valve number 2. We're gonna have to carry on with that. So I'm actually gonna do something which I probably shouldn't. Take their word for it and say we're going to try this auto adjusting paste. I hope I don't regret this. Put that on the edge of the valve. So when you finish this part, you may want to clear out the engine with some brake clean. You don't want to spray from the top down because then it's going to flush it down deeper into the engine. You want to basically flip the head around. I wonder if I should show you guys to do that. That's it. So you want to keep that in there and just get it all over there. I don't know if this is going to be a good idea to demonstrate even, but yeah, so let's take the word for it. They know a thing or two about materials. I disagree with most things, but sometimes I'm wrong. I'd rather be wrong than think I know everything and never learn anything. If that is really rough. Yeah, so it's gonna do that. So what you want to do is with this one, you want to do a full rotation. So if you actually mark a dot on here, where's my marker? This one I said, you don't want to start a fire. So let's say that's a marker there. You want to be able to do a full revolution before you go back the other way. And if you just start a fire, you're never going to get the full rotation. So you want to get a full, proper rotation all the way through, all the way around. And you don't want to do this too long because you could end up just seating the thing into oblivion. Like I said, with that initial part, you don't want that seat to go down too deep. So normally if you were to machine the seat down too much, you get the problem that we have. So this probably was done before by an engineering machinist, someone that didn't know the proper application for a valve seat. And you'll also hear with the sound of it, rough sound versus smooth sound. I was getting like a high pitch. I'm not really applying a lot of pressure downwards, I'm just letting the paste do its job. Alright, so let's try that and see how that goes. Making sure not to touch the abrasive part. Okay, then do a bit of cleanup. And I seem to have actually managed to not get a single, oh, let me not jinx it, but I don't seem to have any abrasive on my stem seal, which is good. And also if you want to work with your valves and beepers, you want to measure your stem thickness here versus there, the working surface versus the non-working surface. That'll give an indication of how much lifespan you have left. Oh, lifespan, service limit, like tolerances. So you can see here, I'll lock the thing now. You can see here you have a much smoother focus now. Sorry for the bad focus, guys, just bear with me. There we go. Lock that in place, good. So now you can see there's a much smoother surface finish on this now. It's not as shiny as a machine surface, and obviously, like I said, we have gone over that little limit there. I just don't have the time to get the seats redone now, unfortunately. Sorry for the bad focus. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to zoom in on that surface now, so let me clean that up. This is valve number 2. So I'm not going to do all valves because they're pretty much the same thing. If there's something that's like really interesting, I will probably make a secondary video on that. Yeah, so we would basically get that. I'm still a little bit uneasy about this auto adjusting compound. This ain't looking too good. I might actually have to get the seat redone because that thing is not looking too great. Okay, let me take it in quickly so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so we are back this side here. Where's my little indicator? I'll just use this other one. And you see you still have that very big area there, dark area there, right there, coming through there, and I'm not happy with that. I'll give it a bit more of a grind, but obviously, I don't want to take it in too much because that will affect your piston clearances. What am I saying? Piston clearances, valve clearances on your camshaft. So yeah, it's a little better. We'll still go, but I'm actually not happy with this valve. I'm actually going to look for a different valve compound and see if I can actually get the better of this whole auto adjusting thing. It doesn't feel good because you can just see that that rough surface. You see how it's like sparkly, almost like there's glitter in it. That's because there's rougher compounds and lighter compounds, and it's not taking it down evenly because some particles are coarser, others are thinner. Sounds good in theory, not good in practice. Yeah, I'll have to look and see if I can do something about that and see if I can get a better surface. Also, I did leave my spark plug in because I don't want this abrasive stuff going into the other side of my head where my cams and stuff is running. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Okay, so when we are done, let me take this back on the stand. Okay, so we are back on the stand now. So after we've basically done that, now get the surface finish done. we would basically flip this head around because we don't want stuff, especially abrasive things, flying into our cylinder head on the other side of the cams and stuff are. And you can see where we've removed the valve guide. Oh, what am I saying, valve guide? We haven't removed the valve. We haven't touched the valve guide. That's the valve stem seal, and we just have a little spray bottle, just a little pneumatic spray bottle with brake clean on the inside, and I'm just going to spray that in there to get all that abrasives out there, making sure that we get all the angles of that. So all that is now running downwards into the bottom end of the cardboard, and that will basically we're turning this around. And then getting a clean rag, make sure we're not rubbing off with any part that has had abrasive on it. Clean that seat again, and we'll be able to now carry on with our valve installation. And you would insert this. You don't want to get any scratches when you're doing that. It must be smooth, kind of like a little plunger. Not a plunger, was the like hydraulic piston, basically. I don't know how to describe the sound, but you don't want to have any abrasive sounds in there, and you'll know that your valve is good. And that. So what we would do next, we would basically take this valve, we would insert it there, reinsert our valve spring, and we would put some form of penetrating lubricant or something through there, and we would look on this side if anything would seep through, which would indicate our valve is leaking. So it could look that the valve could be not seating properly. So let's see if we can maybe do that quickly. It's going to make a video a bit long, but I think it's a good thing to demonstrate. Okay, so at risk of nearly dropping my cylinder head, it's just for you guys, you'd want to have your one position on there, and then on the other side you'd have your valve. So let's have a look at that. Turning this around, probably in another way would be better. Let's get that valve stem seal on. Do we want to do that now? Actually, I'm gonna do that on a separate video, but yeah, we will basically have that on there. I do want to demonstrate the valve stem seal, so I don't think I'm gonna be doing that then. I suppose I could just demonstrate, it wouldn't hurt anything. I put that on there. We have our, okay, well, the valve stem seal does actually make a retainer, so let's just do that. We have another one we can put on, so let's just do that then. Just for demonstration purposes. Making sure that one is properly in. Let's quickly put this valve stem seal in. Okay, so we've installed the valve stem seal. Slowly taking this on. Hopefully I won't get this shot into the stratosphere like what happened with the snap rings. Or during the piston assembly we actually lost a bunch of snap rings. I had to get another set, and this got sent off into the stratosphere. Anyway, off topic. Let's get this done here. That'll allow us to get our half moons in. And let's quickly get our half moons, which I put where. Let me install this valve quickly and I'll show you guys. Okay, so that took way longer than I would like to have admit, but yeah, we've got our spring in, valve stem seal has been connected, and yeah, now we're going to test that one. So we're basically going to overhang this a little bit off the edge of the table, making sure not to damage the head while rearranging things. Righto. We have our seal there. Our valve is going to be sitting. Let's move this back a little bit. And again, we're going to have our brake clean, spray it in there. And we're going to look at the bottom, let that just sit for a little bit, and we'll see. So let me take it off the stand and jump underneath. And as you're able to see, she is sitting rather dry. So I reckon she's holding up pretty well. So we're going to do the same thing for all the other valves, and that's basically how you would reseat your valves. Just to show you guys on this side, we still have the brake clean sitting there on the valve, so we know that this valve is sealing properly. We're going to repeat the process for the other valves, and then we will hopefully get the head complete and ready for fitment. But that'll probably be a next weekend project. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.